And then we're going to begin today in a comfortable seat. So finding your comfortable seat to begin your practice. Just a very short little meditation just to help us to arrive. So it can be beneficial to prop yourself up on something, a little block or a cushion or two. So especially if you kind of feel like when you're sitting on the ground, you're leaning back into the back edges of the sitting bones and you're kind of rounding the spine. It's a bit of a struggle to stay upright. Your knees are quite high. Really useful to have support underneath you. And then as you inhale, press the sitting bones down into the support beneath you to grow a little bit taller through the spine. Lift the crown of the head towards the ceiling. You're already starting to connect your breath with your movement. And then as you exhale, soften the shoulders back and down away from your ears. And see if you can relax the face a little. So relax the forehead and the jaw areas we might be unconsciously holding any tension. Placing the hands in a way that suits you. So you might want to place the palms facing up if you'd like to invite some energy in if you're feeling a little bit tired today, a little bit sluggish. You might want to face the palms down if you would like to ground and calm, if you're feeling a little bit chaotic in your mind perhaps. And the invitation is to close the eyes down. Guide your attention a little bit more inwards. If this is uncomfortable, keep the eyes open, but see if you can fix the gaze just on one point to narrowing the attention and really, again, soften the eyes, the eyelids, space around the eyes. See if you can find a bit more space just between the eyebrows. Beginning to notice the sensations of your breath. So noticing the sensations of the inhale, that filling up, expanding, and the sensations of the exhale, that letting go, releasing, softening. Starting to make your breath a little bit bigger and see if you can send your breath a little bit further afield. Allow your breath to completely fill your abdomen. You might feel a bit of an expansion in the back body and the sides of the body as well. And as you exhale, draw the ribs in towards the center. Really let go of that exhale completely. So you're just cultivating that really nice, deep, fluid, even breath. And then bringing your attention to the very center of your chest, energetic heart space. And see if for the next few breaths you can send your energy here, send your attention and your breath here. So as you inhale, you feel your chest expand, the upper back, that space underneath the armpits. As you exhale, you feel everything soften. A few more breaths. Send your breath here, send your attention here. You might even visualize a beautiful bright light at the very center of your chest. As you inhale, that light gets brighter, expands outwards, and as you exhale, it softens. And as you bring your attention to the space, think about dropping your seat of perception down into the heart. See if you can really begin to perceive with the heart. 40,000 neurons in our heart. So we've got a little heart brain there which can indeed perceive and send messages to our head brain. We're just so used to being in our minds, leading from our intellect. While your attention is located here, just see if anything arises in your heart as an intention for your practice today. Just take a moment to set an intention if you would like to work with one. Take a really big inhale now, biggest inhale yet. Hold at the top, pause for a moment. And then exhale, sight out of your mouth. Really let it go. And then from here, if the eyes are closed, you might wish to keep them closed actually, or you might blink them gently open. And we're going to transition onto our hands and knees now. So just carefully removing any bits and bobs from underneath you, placing them carefully aside, and just making your way onto hands and knees. Hands directly underneath shoulders, knees directly underneath hips. Spread the fingers nice and wide, really connect to the ground here. And then as you inhale, moving with your breath, you're going to drop the belly, lift the gaze, send the heart forwards, or keep the eyes closed if you prefer. As you exhale, push into the hands, round the spine, send the gaze towards the navel, shoulder blades apart, tailbone tucks. Few more rounds. Inhale, drop belly, lift the face, send the heart forwards. Exhale, push the ground away with the hands round the spine, tailbone tuck, shoulder blades apart, face towards the navel. Few more rounds. Move to the rhythm of your own natural breath. But try and keep this breath nice and slow and fluid throughout your practice. Slow, fluid, deep, even breathing. And let your breath guide your movement. So your movement is triggered by the start of your inhale and the start of your exhale. Really feeling all the sensations in the body as you move through the postures. And then on your next inhale, continuing to drop belly, lifting the face, you're going to shoot your right toes up and back behind you. Lengthen the leg as much as you can and lift the back of the leg and the sole of the foot towards the ceiling. So you're really activating the back of the leg and the glute here. As you exhale, bring the knee in towards the nose, push the hands down, round the spine, send the belly in. Inhale again, send the toes back in space. Lift the face, send the heart forward, really lengthen the leg, lift sole of foot high. Exhale, push into hands, knee to nose to knee. Make yourself really small here. And send the belly in. Inhale again, sending the toes back, lengthening the leg. Exhale, knee to nose to knee, round the spine. Continue with this, or optional now, as you inhale and float the right toes back, maybe reach the left fingertips forwards in space. Exhale, draw the knee to nose to knee. Elbow moves in towards the belly. Push that right hand down at the end of your exhale, round the spine. Inhale again, send right toes back, left fingertips forward, lengthen. Exhale, make yourself small, knee to knee, elbow in towards the belly. One more, inhale, make yourself long, toes back, fingertips forward. Stay here and pause for a few breaths. Or optional, as you exhale, bend your right knee, point your toes up to the ceiling, turn your left palm to face outwards, and then circle the left fingertips back. Maybe take hold of the outer edge of the foot. And then if you have the bind, just realign yourself. Spin the chest directly towards the front of your mat and turn the gaze forwards. If you have the bind, keep pressing the foot into the hand and lifting the toes high towards the ceiling. One more deep inhale. Breathe the toes a little bit higher, crown of head a little bit higher. And then exhale, release the foot if you have it. Bring left hand down, right knee down. Second side, inhale, send your left toes up and back, lengthen the leg. Send the sole of the foot high towards the ceiling as you gaze ahead. Exhale, knee to nose to knee. Push into the hands, round the spine, make yourself small. Inhale, lengthen, send the toes back, lengthen the leg, lift the back of the leg high. Exhale, knee to nose to knee. Push the hands into the ground to round the spine. Inhale, toes move back in space. Gaze lifts, lengthen that leg. Exhale, push into the hands around the spine, knee to nose to knee, belly in. Continue with this, or optional, inhale, float the toes back as you reach the right fingertips forwards in space. Lengthening. Exhale, knee to nose to knee, draw the right elbow in towards the belly. Make yourself small, push that left hand down firmly into the ground. Inhale again, left toes back, right fingertips forwards, moving with your breath, expanding. Exhale, knee to nose to knee, elbow in towards the belly. Rounding the spine. Final time, inhale, send the toes back, reach fingertips forward. Pause here, or optional, turn the right palm to face out. Exhale, bend your left knee, point the toes high towards the ceiling. And then circle the right arm back. Maybe take the outer edge of the foot. If you're here, spin the chest forward, gaze ahead of you. Press the left foot into the hand and reach the toes as high as you can as you reach the crown of the head towards the ceiling. One more deep inhale, push that left hand into the ground, reach the toes a little bit higher if you have the bind. Exhale, release the bind. If you have it, bring right hand down, left knee down. Step the knees back by about half a foot. As you inhale, press the hands into the ground, send the hips back in space, lengthening the spine. Lengthening the arms. As you exhale, tuck the toes under, press into the hands, lift the hips up high into your downward facing dog. And move in a way which helps you to ease out any tension in your body, so move intuitively here. So you might pedal out opposite legs, bending opposite knees as you lengthen opposite heels towards the ground. You might shake the head yes and no to release any tension in the neck. You might take a sigh out of your mouth, releasing any mental clutter, any other movements that feel good here to you. And just remember, you can always come to rest in child's pose at any point if you want to take a break from the movement practice, and then rejoin us. And then coming to stillness in your down dog. So come to stillness, place a bend in the knees, lift the heels high, lift the hips high, to really allow for more length in the spine. Plug the knuckles of the hands, pads of the fingers down into the ground. Draw the forearms in towards each other, spiral the biceps forwards and send the shoulder blades away from the ears, but let the neck completely relax. The head is hanging heavy. As you inhale, press deeper into the ground, lift the hips even higher, find even more length. And then optional, as you exhale, you might begin to draw the heels down towards the ground, lengthening the backs of the legs, but just noticing if your spine begins to round here and the weight begins to drop forward into your wrists. If this is the case, keep a little bend in the knees in your down dog. So you're favouring a long spine over long legs. Take a final breath in stillness. Deep inhale, push the hands down, lift the hips higher. Exhale, let it go completely. And then begin to take some baby steps towards the front of your mat, taking your time. And then the feet arrive at the front of your mat. Take a moment to position them so they are hip width apart. Place a little bend in the knees and just let the upper body melt over the legs, let everything be soft. You might wish to stay in stillness here. You might prefer to take hold of the elbows and rock from side to side, maybe shaking head yes and no. And then if you're rocking from side to side, just coming back to stillness. Releasing the elbows, letting the arms hang.
And find even weight between all four corners of the feet now. So you might just wriggle back and forth, side to side, until you really establish that even connection to the ground beneath you through the soles of the feet. And then as you inhale, press down through the feet to slowly, vertebra by vertebra, just roll your spine up in slow motion to your Tadasana. Chin is tucked into the chest, and the head is the last part of you to eventually come up. And then take a moment in your Tadasana. So really feel that evenness in the posture. You're rooting down through the soles of your feet. You're reaching your fingertips down. The palms are slightly open, so the chest can be nice and open and receiving. Shoulders down away from the ears, tailbone reaching down, so the sacrum is nice and broad. And then with that reaching down, plugging down, you can lift up. So the kneecaps are lifting, thighs are engaged. Bandhas are active, you're lifting all the muscles in the pelvic area. Engaging Mula Bandha at the ends of your exhale, you're sending the pit of the belly in and up. Engaging Uddiyana Bandha, and you should feel yourself grow a bit taller as you do this. Collarbones lift, crown of head lifts. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale, bring the palms together at the heart. Just take a moment to recall your intention if you're working with one. And let's start to move with our breath. As you inhale, reach the arms up. Lengthen. Maybe lift the heart, lift the gaze. If your low back's okay with it, slight back bend. Exhale, fold over the legs, plant the hands down. Bend the knees if you need to get the hands down. As you inhale, step back with your right foot. Bring the shin, the knee, the top of the foot down, gaze ahead, shoulders back and down. Retain the breath as you step back into a plank. Nice straight line. Half plank is an option if you prefer. The knees down. As you exhale, lower the knees, the chest and the chin. Try and aim the heart between the thumbs. Keep the seat lifted and keep the elbows in. Inhale, slide forward into your baby cobra, tops of feet down. Using your back strength, rather than your arms, to breathe your front body up. Exhale, push into the hands, tuck toes, lift hips high, downward facing dog. As you inhale, step your right foot forward between the hands, drop your left knee down, gaze ahead. If the foot gets stuck halfway and your knee is overshooting your ankle, take hold of the ankle with the right hand and just give the foot a hand to the top of the mat. Exhale, step forward with left foot, fold over the legs, relax the head and neck. Inhale, press feet down, reach the arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold over the legs, plant the hands down. Inhale, step back with left foot, shin, knee, top of foot down, gaze ahead, shoulders back and down. Retain the breath, step back into a plank. Nice straight line. Knees down if you prefer. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or if you prefer, you can lower the knees and tuck the toes and then bring the belly, the chest and the forehead down. It's just an alternative transition if knees, chest, chin doesn't work for you. Inhale, breathe front body up into baby cobra. Thighs engaged, elbows in. Exhale, push hands down, tuck toes, lift hips high, downward facing dog. As you inhale, step forward with your left foot, drop your right knee down, gaze ahead, give the foot a hand if you need to get it to the top of your mat. Exhale, step forward with right foot, fold over the legs, relax head and neck. Inhale, press feet down, reach arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold over the legs, plant the hands down. Inhale, step back with right foot, shin, knee, top of foot down, squeezing the thighs towards each other, reach the fingertips high. Exhale, interlace the hands, bring the hands behind the head, and then think about pressing the hands into the head into the hands, and the elbows away from each other and slightly back in space. As you inhale, lift your heart, lift your gaze slightly. As you exhale, shuffle your left foot forward by a couple of inches and then encourage the hips forwards and down in space. Really relax that right hip down to get that nice opening in the hip flexor. Stay here if your lower back is okay with it. As you inhale, lift the heart a little bit higher.
And as you exhale, maybe send the crown of the head back in space, relaxing the head deeper into the hands. Couple more deep breaths here. With each inhale, you're lifting the heart, breathing more space across your front body. With each exhale, sink the hips a little bit lower. Maybe draw the crown of the head back in space a little bit more. As you inhale now, press your left foot down into the ground. Bring the hips back and up, back to neutral spine, and reach the hands towards the ceiling. So you're keeping the interlace, you're turning the palms towards the ceiling, lengthening the arms. As you exhale, release the interlace and bring the hands down to frame your left foot. As you inhale, send the hips back in space, lengthen the back of that left leg, creep the fingertips back, curl the left toes in. So if your hands are off the ground or if the floor seems like it's quite far away, bring a block or a brick or a book underneath you just to close the gap so you can maintain that nice long spine. As you inhale, lengthen the spine in the direction of that left leg, send the crown of the head forward. And then as you exhale, optional, if you have space to do so, maybe begin to hinge forward and down over your left leg. If you're forward folding, you're aiming your chin towards your shin. Couple more deep breaths here. Connecting subtle movement to breath. Inhale, sending the crown of the head forward. This looks great, guys, those of you that can see. Exhale, softening forwards and down. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, point your left toes, bring the sole of the foot towards the ground. As you inhale, bend your left knee, send the hips forward, bring the hands to frame your left foot. Inhale, step back into plank, nice straight line, heels back, crown of head forwards. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or lower knees, untuck toes, belly, chest, and forehead come down, elbows in and back. Inhale, breathe yourself up into baby cobra, thighs engaged, tops of feet down. Exhale, push into hands, tuck toes, lift hips, downward facing dog. As you inhale, step forward with your right foot, send your left heel back in space, runner's lunge, strong back leg. Exhale, step left foot forward, fold over the legs, relax head and neck. Inhale, press feet down, reach the arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze, lengthen. Exhale, fold over the legs, plant the hands down. Inhale, step back with left foot, shin, knee, top of foot down, squeeze inner thighs towards each other, reach the fingertips high, lengthen. Exhale, interlace the hands, shuffle the fingers along one so you're taking the less habitual interlace, bring the hands behind the head, and then take a moment to press the head into the hands, hands into the head, draw the elbows away from each other and back in space, nice open heart. Inhale, lift your heart towards the ceiling, maybe slightly lift the gaze. Exhale, shuffle the right foot forward by a couple of inches and then guide the hips forwards and down in space, opening your left hip flexor. Stay here, or maybe as you inhale, you lift your heart a little bit higher. As you exhale, maybe you sink the crown of the head back in space, leaning the head a little bit deeper back into the hands. Relaxing through that left hip flexor. Couple more deep breaths. So there's still a little bit of engagement and stability in the posture. Keep squeezing the inner thighs in towards each other. So give yourself a little bit of support. Make this your final exhale. See if you can really relax into your left hip. And then inhale, press your right foot down. Send the hips up and back to neutral. Long spine. Reach the palms of the hands upwards. Keep the interlace. Lengthen the arms. Exhale, release the interlace, bring the hands either side of your right foot. As you inhale, send the hips back in space, lengthen the back of that right leg, curl the toes in, creep the fingertips back. Again, use support underneath you between the hands and the ground if the floor is quite far away. And then as you inhale, lengthen the spine in the direction of your right leg, send the shoulders away from the ears, neck is long. Stay here, or if you have space, as you exhale, maybe hinging forward and down over your right leg, aiming your chin towards your shin. Couple more deep breaths. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Breathing lower ribs towards upper ribs. Exhale, maybe softening forward and down over that right leg as you exhale. Maybe relaxing the belly and the chest. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, point the right toes, lower the sole of the foot towards the ground. Inhale, bend your right knee, bring the hands either side of your right foot. Step back into plank, exhale, knees, chest, chin, or lower knees, untuck toes, belly, chest, forehead down. Inhale, slide forward into baby cobra, thighs engaged, elbows in. Exhale, push into hands, tuck toes, lift hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, step forward with your left foot, send your right heel back in space, runner's lunge, strong back leg. Exhale, step forward with right foot, fold over the legs, relax head and neck. Inhale, press feet down, reach the arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold over the legs, plant the hands down. As you inhale, take a big step back with your right foot, plant your heel down, and then cartwheel the arms up into your warrior two. Just gonna face the other way, so I don't have my back to you. And then fix the gaze towards or beyond your left middle finger, and then really feel into the posture. Feel even weight between the left and right foot, so you really want to ground into the outer edge of your back foot, your right foot. Left knee directly above the ankle, so you might want to encourage that knee slightly out towards the left side of your mat. Shoulders directly above the hips. This looks great, those of you that can see. Tailbone slightly dropping down and crown of head lifting. One more deep inhale, reach fingertips further away. Exhale, lower the right hand down onto your right thigh. As you inhale, flip your left palm up and reverse your warrior. So you're creeping your right fingertips down towards your right foot, reaching your left fingertips up and over behind you, lengthening your left side, lengthening the arms. Keep the deep bend in that left knee. As you exhale, reach forward with your left fingertips, bend your left elbow, and just rest the forearm onto your left thigh. Reach the right fingertips up and over, coming into your side angle. Again, inhale, reversing your warrior, moving with your breath. Lower body stays stable like the trunk of a tree. Exhale, opening out into your side angle, lengthening that right side. It's like tree branches swaying in the wind. One more, inhale, reversing your warrior, strong legs. Really lengthen your left fingertips, maybe reach a little bit further this time. Exhale back into your side angle. Hold your side angle for 3 or so deep breaths. Option, if you want to make it a little bit more, well, a lot more intense, then you might want to reach your left fingertips forward, lengthen out the arms, and bring the left arm parallel to the right, as though you're holding a beach ball. I'm only going to do that for one breath. One more deep breath. Reach further through the fingertips. And then as you inhale, press the feet down, come back to warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the arms down to frame your left foot, spin onto the ball of the right foot so you arrive in your runner's lunge. Inhale, step back into plank, nice straight line, heels back, crown of head forward. As you exhale, either chaturanga with control now, or knees, chest, chin if you prefer. Inhale, upward facing dog, cobra if you prefer. If you're an up dog, lift your hips and your knees. Exhale, push into the hands, tuck toes, lift hips, downward facing dog. As you inhale, raise your right leg high towards the ceiling, lengthen the back of the leg, point the toes. Exhale, bend the right knee, bring the heel in towards your left glute and lift that right knee super high. Stay here for a few breaths, or optional, transitioning into your wild thing. You might bring your weight over into your left hand, float your right fingertips off the ground, and then step your right foot behind you, coming into a bit of a back bend.
Your left leg is straight, right knee is bent, ball of the right foot on the ground. Pressing your left hand into the ground to lift the heart towards the ceiling. And you're reaching your right fingertips forwards towards the front of your mat. Palm is facing up. One more deep inhale. If you're in your wild thing, press your left hand down, reach your heart higher. Exhale, bring the right hand down to the ground, so you're retracing your steps. And then inhale, everyone reach their right toes back up towards the ceiling, lengthening the leg back into three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot forward, send your left heel back in space, runner's lunge. Inhale, step your left foot forward, halfway lift, long spine. So fingertips can be on the ground or hands to shins. Gaze ahead, long spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Relax head and neck. Inhale, press the feet down, reach the arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold over the legs, plant the hands down. Bend knees if you need to get the hands down. Inhale, big step back with your left foot, plant the foot down, then cartwheel the arms up into your warrior two. Fix the gaze towards or beyond that right middle finger. Soften the eyelids. And then again, really feel into the posture. So feel the feet on the ground, evenly, even weight between left and right foot, grounding into the outer edge of your left foot. Think about drawing the sides of the throat, the sides of the head back in space. Your head is directly over the spine. Beautiful. Deep bend in that right knee slightly moving out towards the right side of your mat so the hip is nice and open. And then think about dropping the tailbone down slightly, nipping the front ribs in and lifting the crown of the head a little bit higher. One more deep inhale, reach the fingertips further. Exhale, lower your left hand down onto your left thigh. Flip your right palm upwards. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Keep the left fingertips down the leg as you reach the right fingertips up and back, lengthening your right side. But keep that deep bend in your right knee. Exhale, reach forward with your right fingertips. Bend the right elbow and rest the forearm to thigh. Reach left fingertips up and over, lengthening your left side. Two more. Inhale, reversing your warrior. Move really gracefully, slowly with the breath, and really feel the space that you're moving through. Exhale, side angle. Legs are strong, stable, and unmoving. Inhale, final time. Reversing your warrior. Maybe reach further with the right fingertips. Exhale into your side angle. Lengthen through your left side. So stay here in your side angle. Optional, reaching the right fingertips forward, lengthening the arm and bringing right arm parallel to left, like you're holding a beach ball. Spinning your left shoulder open, tucking the right shoulder forward and under. One more deep breath here. Ground into the outer edge of that left foot. And then inhale, gracefully back to our warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the arms down to frame. Your right foot spin onto ball of left foot. Runner's lunge. Inhale, step back into plank. Nice straight line, heels back, crown of head forwards. Exhale, chaturanga with control on knees, chest, chin. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Hotforward, shoulders back. Exhale, push into hands, lift hips high, downward facing dog. As you inhale, raise your left leg high towards the ceiling, lengthen the leg, point the toes. Exhale, bend the knee, bring the heel in towards your right glute. Stay here, lean your weight over onto your right hand and step your left toes behind you on the ground. Press the right hand down, lift the heart high. And reach the fingertips forwards in space, left fingertips turning the palm towards the ceiling, lifting the heart high towards the ceiling. Couple more deep breaths. Right leg is straight, left knee is bent if you're in your wild thing. One more deep inhale, lift the heart higher if you're in your wild thing. And then exhale, wild things, bring your left hand onto the ground, retracing your steps with your breath. Inhale, everyone reaching your left toes up towards the ceiling now, three-legged dog. Exhale, step left foot forward, send right heel back in space, runner's lunge. Inhale, step right foot forward, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, soften and fold over the legs, relax head and neck. Inhale, press feet down, reach arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold over the legs, plant the hands down. As you inhale, big step back with your right foot, land on the ball of the foot, and then squeeze in the thighs towards each of them, reach the fingertips high, so you're coming into your high lunge. You can fix the gaze towards the ceiling, between the fingertips, or just ahead of you. Couple more deep breaths here. Really lift that back heel back and up in space. This is great. One more deep inhale, reach a little bit higher. As you exhale, lower the elbows to shoulder height. Round the upper back. And then thread your right arm underneath your left. Take hold of opposite elbows, or maybe wrap into eagle arms, forearms parallel. Elbows moving away from the face, fingertips lifting. Backs of the hands can be together, or maybe fully wrapping, pressing palms of hands together. And then as you inhale, again, keep the legs strong and stable. As you inhale, you're going to lift the heart, slight back bend. Exhale, rounding the back, coming forwards and down, drawing the elbows in towards the belly if you're in your eagle arms. Inhale again, leaning up and back, lifting your heart. Keep the legs stable, deep bend in your left knee. Exhale, coming forwards and down. Inhale, final time, moving with your breath, up and back. Send the elbows away from the face and lift the fingertips. If you have your eagle arms. Exhale, this time coming forwards, bringing your weight forwards into your left foot now. Activate the bandit, send the gaze ahead of you. And as you inhale, press your left foot into the ground, lengthen the leg and float your right heel up and back behind you. You might need to kind of step in a little bit closer towards that left foot with the right foot. One more deep breath here. Send that right heel back, crown of head forward. Try and gaze ahead rather than down. And then slowly unraveling your eagle arms. Reach the fingertips forwards now. Begin to bend your left knee. Band is active. Inhale, step your right foot back. Reach the fingertips high, back into your high lunge. Exhale, bring the hands down to frame your left foot. Inhale, step back into plank, nice straight line, heels back, crown of head forwards. Exhale, chaturanga with control, or knees, chest, chin, come down. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, lift hips, lift knees if you're in up dog. Exhale, push into hands, tuck toes, lift hips high, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg up towards the ceiling, lengthen the back of the leg. Exhale, come forwards into three-legged plank, bring the knee towards your right elbow. Try and pause here with your knee at your right elbow in your three-legged plank, really activate your core here. And then exhale, just drop your right knee down on the ground behind your right wrist. Bring your left knee down and then shuffle that left leg far back behind you as you creep your right foot in towards your left wrist, arriving ready for your pigeon. So, at this point, if your hips are off the ground or you're leaning onto one side, bring some support underneath your block or a cushion just underneath the hips. It'll just give you a little bit more stability here. If your right knee feels a bit tweaky in the posture, try bringing it a little bit in towards the midline of the mat, towards the left side of your mat, and inviting your heel a bit closer in towards your groin. Of course, if there's any tweakiness and it just doesn't feel great in any posture, just come out of the posture and rest. And come onto the fingertips. As you inhale, press the fingertips down, lift the crown of the head, send the heart forwards and up, shoulders back and down. As you exhale, try and keep that length in the spine and broadness across the front body as you hinge forwards and down in space. And then maybe come onto the forearms first. If you've got padding underneath you, you probably want a cushion or a block underneath the forehead, or maybe stay on the forearms.
or maybe coming all the way down eventually, maybe reaching the hands out in front of you, bring the forehead to the ground, or you can make a pillow with the forearms and rest the forehead on the forearms. And we'll spend a good 5 or so more deep breaths in our pigeon just to really allow that right hip to open. See if you can reconnect to that nice, slow, deep breath that we established at the start of our practice. Inhaling until you're full. Exhaling until you're empty. Send your breath into any resistance you might be feeling in the body, maybe gripping in that right hip. And exhale, really let go of that tension. Maybe take a sigh out of your mouth. As you inhale now, begin to walk your hands back in towards you. Plant the hands on the ground. And then just shuffle that left foot forward slightly. Tuck your left toes under, lift the knee off the ground, send the heel back in space, and really energize that left leg, engage the thigh. As you inhale, press the hands into the ground, shoot your right leg up and back, coming into your three-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot forward, send your left heel back in space, we're in this lunge. Inhale, step left foot forward, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold over the legs, relax head and neck. Inhale, press the feet down, reach the arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold over the legs, plant the hands down. As you inhale, take a big step back with your left foot, come onto the ball of the foot, squeeze inner thighs towards each other, reach the fingertips towards the ceiling, coming into your high lunge. And then fix the gaze towards the ceiling between the fingertips or just ahead of you. Think about sending your left heel up and back, really energizing that back leg. There's energy in the arms. This looks great, guys. Lengthening your arms, lengthening your fingers. You're really reaching for something you want. But the shoulders are soft. Shoulders relax away from your ears. Take one more deep inhale. Reach the fingertips a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, lower the elbows to shoulder height, round the spine, make space between the shoulder blades, thread your left arm underneath your right. Take hold of opposite shoulders or wrap into eagle arms. Backs of hands together or palms of hands. Take a moment to send the elbows away from each other and reach the fingertips higher in your eagle arm. As you inhale, keep the legs stable, squeezing the thighs towards each other, reach the fingertips up and back, lift the heart high. As you exhale, melting forwards and down, rounding the spine, drawing the elbows in towards the belly. Inhale, arching back, lifting the heart. Slowly with the breath. Exhale, rounding out, drawing the elbows in. One more, using your breath. Inhale, up and back. Send the elbows away from you, reach fingertips further. Exhale, rounding out, bring the weight forwards into your right foot, active banders gaze ahead of you. And then inhale, press that right foot down, lengthen the right leg, send your left heel up and back. Wobbles are good. And if you have your eagle arms, continue to reach the fingertips forwards. So you send that left heel back in space. Strong standing leg, press that right foot down, engage the front thigh. As you take your final deep breath, begin to gracefully unravel your arms and reach the fingertips forwards, lengthening your arms ahead of you. And then as you inhale, bend your right knee, active banders, step your left foot back, reach the fingertips high, back into your high lunge. Exhale, bring the hands down to frame your right foot. Inhale, step back into plank, nice straight line, belly in. Exhale, chaturanga with control or knees, chest, chin to the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra, thighs engaged. Exhale, push into hands, tuck toes, lift hips high, downward facing dog. As you inhale, raise your left toes up towards the ceiling, lengthen the back of the leg.
Exhale, travel forward into three-legged plank. Bring your left knee towards your left elbow. See if you can pause here with the knee glued towards the elbow. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, release your left knee to the ground just behind your left elbow. Bring your right knee down and shuffle that right leg far back in space. And then from here, just tweaking the posture. So if your hips are off the ground, or you're leaning over onto one side, bring a cushion or a block underneath you. If your left knee feels a bit sensitive, try walking the knee in towards the midline of the mat, towards the right, and bringing your left heel a bit closer in towards your groin. Of course, any discomfort in any posture, just come out of it and rest, and then rejoin us. Bring the fingertips on the ground in front of you. As you inhale, press the fingertips down, lift the crown of the head, send the heart forwards and up, so you're making space. And then exhale, keep that length in the spine, broadness across the front body as you hinge forwards and down. Again, if you have support under your hips, you probably want a block for your forehead, or you might stay on your forearms. Eventually, if it feels okay to do so, you might walk the hands further forward, lengthening out the arms, bringing the forehead down to the ground, or maybe making a pillow with your forearms, resting your forehead onto the forearms. And take another 3 or so deep breaths in stillness. Inhaling into any resistance in the body, maybe in that left hip. Exhale, releasing that tension, surrendering to the ground. If anything comes up here, just release it through your exhale. Final deep breath here. Your biggest breath. Exhale, let it go completely. And then as you inhale, begin to walk your hands back in towards you. Plant the hands down. Tuck the right toes under, just shuffle that right leg in slightly. And then lift the knee off the ground, send the heel back in space, energize that right leg. As you inhale, press the hands down, flick your left toes up and back into your three-legged dog. Exhale, step your left foot forward between the hands and your right heel back in space, runner's lunge. Inhale, step your right foot forward, halfway lift, long spine. Exhale, fold over the legs, relax head and neck. 2 more, make these really big breaths, clearing breaths. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine. Inhale as fully as you can, pause for a moment. Exhale, sigh it out, soften the knees a little bit. Relax your knees. Bend in the knees, soften the head. 1 more, deep inhale, halfway lift, long legs, long spine. Inhale, fully hold for a moment. And then let it go. Relax, a little bend into the knees, let the spine round, let the head be heavy. And then as you inhale, press the feet down, reach the arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, bring the palms together at the heart and just pause in Tadasana for a few breaths. Maybe close the eyes down here. And just feel what you're feeling. Again, just think about the idea of dropping the seat of your perception from your brain mind down into your heart mind. Feeling from the heart. Inhale, expanding across your heart space. Softening the heart open. And maybe just revisiting your intention if you're working with one today. So for this next little sequence, you're probably going to want a brick or something that resembles a brick, like a thick book or the like. So something like this. If you don't have it, don't worry. It just might mean that you have to bend the standing leg, which is not really a big deal. So placing this item at the top right edge of your mat, so just in front of the right corner of your mat. And then come back to your Tadasana. Take a moment to settle in your Tadasana, really firm the feet into the ground. Engage your front thighs, activate your bandhas, fix the gaze just ahead of you. And then bringing your left hand onto your left hip. As you inhale, begin to bring your weight into your left leg. Float your right knee into your right hand.
Stay here, or optional, you might want to take the big toe bind, taking the first two fingers on the inside of the big toe, thumb on the outside. If you have the big toe bind, take a moment first of all to find the length in the back of that left leg and the length in the spine. Stay here, or maintaining the length in the spine and the back of the leg, maybe begin to kick the heel forward. So you might still have a bend in the leg, you might straighten the leg. Final deep breath here. Prioritize the breath, make the breath super slow. See if you can straighten that left leg a bit more, send the back of the knee back in space. And then if you have the big toe bind, as you exhale, release it. Bring the right hand onto the hip, everyone. Bending that right knee in and up, pointing the right toes towards the ground. Deep inhale. Press your left foot down, lengthen the leg, lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale with the hands on the hips, transitioning into your warrior three with the hands on the hips, sending your right heel back in space, curling the toes and flexing the foot as you draw the crown of the head forwards. And then releasing the right hand down onto your block, your book, or maybe onto the ground. And then either stay here, or optional, you might bring the left hand onto your lower back, palm of left hand onto lower back, and then rolling your left shoulder open, spinning your chest towards the left side of the room. Keep lifting the back of that leg high. Stay here, or maybe reach the left fingertips towards the ceiling and maybe gaze towards your left thumb. Really opening across the chest. Becky, that was great. One more deep inhale. Send that right heel further back, send the crown of the head forwards. And then exhale, release your right foot to the ground. Soften a little bend into the knees, and then just fold forwards and down over the legs. You're coming into a really soft forward fold, letting the crown of the head melt down. Take a deep breath, deep inhale. Exhale, let it go side tap. And then while you're down here, just move your block to the left corner of your mat. So just in front of the left corner of your mat. As you inhale, really connect the feet to the ground, slowly pressing the feet into the ground, vertebra by vertebra, just winding your spine back up to your Tadasana, coming to stand tall. And then just re-establish that Tadasana with integrity. So really grounding down into the feet, engage front thighs, activate bandus fixed gaze ahead of you, deepen your breath. And then bringing right hand onto your right hip. As you inhale, lean your weight over into your right leg. Float your left knee in and up. Take hold of your left knee. Stay here, or optional, maintaining the length in the back of your leg and the spine. Maybe take hold of your left big toe. First two fingers on the inside of the big toe, thumb on the outside. Stay here, or as you inhale, maybe begin to kick that heel forwards in space. So what you want here, if you're coming into your big toe bind, it's better to have a bend in the leg and a super nice long alert spine than having a straight leg and kind of rounding over the leg. One more deep breath wherever you are. Sending the back of that right knee back in space. If you have the big toe bind, as you exhale, release it now. Bring both hands onto the hips. Bring your left knee in and up, point the toes towards the ground. Deep inhale, lengthen that right leg, lengthen the spine. And then exhale, flex your left foot, kick the heel back in space. Foot is nice and active as you send the crown of the head forward. Bring your left hand down onto your block, your book, or the ground. Stay here, or optional, bring your right palm of the right hand onto your lower back. Optional, maybe begin to peel your right shoulder open towards the right, spinning the chest towards the right side of the room. Keep lifting the back of that left leg super high. And then final option, maybe reach the right fingertips towards the ceiling. Maybe gaze towards the right thumb. Into your revolved half moon. That was great, Becky. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, release your left foot down to the ground, soften the knees, and just let the upper body hang over the legs. Take a big clearing breath if that's helpful. Deep inhale. Exhale, let it go side tap. And then bring the hands down onto the ground, soften the knees, hands on the ground. Step back into your downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Notice how your down dog feels compared to how it felt at the start of your practice. Probably feel a little bit more at home in it. Your final 3 breaths, you might prefer to rest in child's pose, or if you're feeling like you have lots of energy to release today, you might wish to move through a half vinyasa. Slow the breath down, deep inhales, full exhales. And then everyone meeting back in down dog if you're not already. One more deep inhale, press into the hands, lift the hips super high. As you exhale, lower the knees down to the ground. And then you're just going to shuffle the legs back so that you're coming down onto your belly. And then bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, so you're arriving in your Sphinx pose. So the feet are about hip width apart. There's a gentle engagement in the glutes and the thighs. So just very gently engaging them just to support your lower back. Elbows underneath the shoulders. And then the arms are super active, so you're pushing the ground away with the forearms. And then energetically drawing them in towards you, sending the heart forwards. Lifting the crown of the head high and softening the shoulders away from the ears. Drishti point is just ahead of you, or maybe closing the eyes and sending your inner gaze in and up towards your third eye, the space between the eyebrows, seat of our intuition, inner guidance. Breathing deeply, checking back in with your breath. So you can stay here for another few breaths, or if you're feeling quite fiery, want something a little bit more dynamic this morning, then optional. Tuck the toes under, engage the front thighs so the knees lift off the ground, and then as you inhale, push the ground firmly away with the forearms and lift the hips off the ground. So you're coming into a forearm plank, just for 3 breaths. Sending the heels back in space, crown of head forward. One more deep breath if you're in your forearm plank. Deep inhale. And then exhale, release the knees down, untuck the toes if you're in your forearm plank. And then everyone coming to lie on your front. Turn the gaze towards the left, bring your right ear down to the ground. And then bring the arms alongside your body. Fingertips pointing back. Backs of the hands on the ground, palms of the hands facing upwards. Take a deep inhale into your lower back. Wriggle the hips from side to side, and then exhale, let it go out of your mouth. Lift the head off the ground, turn the head towards the right, and then bring your left ear to the ground. Take another deep inhale into your lower back as you wriggle the hips from side to side. Exhale, release it out of your mouth. Let your front body sink deeper into the ground. Let everything go. And then bringing the forehead to the ground. Bring the hands just beside the mid-ribs. Press the hands into the ground to lift your front body up off the ground, and then walk the hands in towards you. And then press the shins down to lift your hips above your knees, shoulders above your hips. So we're going to come into camel pose. So if you are very familiar with camel and you usually practice with the tops of the feet down, you keep tops of the feet down. Otherwise, do tuck the toes under and lift the heels nice and high. If you're on a hard floor like me, you might want to roll your mat up so you've got a little bit of extra padding underneath your knees. And then from here, so from the knees to the crown of the head, you're finding your Tadasana posture. Thighs are engaged, your glutes are engaged here in your core, your bandhas are active, so everything below your waist is super nice and stable. It's your support here. And then the hands come onto the lower back, the fingertips can point upwards or downwards. See what feels most natural in your shoulders. And then as you inhale, lift the heart, lift the gaze slightly. This might be enough, especially if you have low back sensitivity, or if you feel comfortable to do so. As you exhale, you might draw the crown of the head back in space, but keep encouraging the hips forward above the knees. You're not bringing the hips with you. We'll do about 5 to 8 more breaths, so of course come out of it if you need to. A few more options, maybe releasing your right hand down onto your right heel, taking the inner heel. You might replace the right hand, repeat with the left hand. Or maybe release your left hand down, taking hold of your left inner heel. If you're here, try not to dump your weight back into the heels, but think about lifting the heart and sending the hips forwards. So you've got space across your lower back. Take one more deep inhale, really breathe into your heart space. And then as you exhale, if you have both hands down, bring the hands back to the lower back. Engage your front thighs and your glutes. Inhale, try and come up without twisting. And then exhale, untuck the toes, just briefly sit back onto your heels, neutralizing the spine. Take a breath, deep inhale. And a full exhale. And then just leaning over onto one side, just unravel your mat if you've folded that in half. Send the legs out in front of you, and then just come down to lie on your back, but maybe bringing a brick or a book or a few cushions. You want it to be fairly soft if you're going to work with this. If you have a book, you might want to wrap a towel around it or something. You don't want it too hard. It's going to go into your lower back. And bringing the item, just placing it just beside the line of your hips. And coming to lie on your back. So you're bringing your arms just beside you, a little bit away from the sides of your body, turning the palms to face up. You're walking your heels really close in towards your hips, close as you can, deep bend in the knees. You're positioning your feet so that they're about hip width apart, and the outer edges of the feet are parallel, so you don't want your toes sticking out. And then just take a moment to find even weight between your inner and outer edges of feet. And then connecting into the soles of the feet. As you inhale, press the feet down and peel your lower, your middle, and then your upper back up off the ground, coming into a bridge pose. Check in with the feet again. Make sure you're not leaning your weight into the outer edges. And your knees want to stay in line with your ankles. You don't want your knees splaying out. Stay here. We'll do another 5 or 6 really deep breaths here. Stay here. If you want to intensify, you might interlace the hands behind you, lengthen the arms, and then walk the shoulder blades in towards each other, so you have a little bit more lift through your heart. About 4 more deep breaths. Slow your breath down as you activate your back body, as you activate your glutes and the backs of the legs. Can you maybe soften through the heart a little bit? And see if you can drop the seat of your perception again down into your heart, away from your thinking mind. Final couple of deep breaths. If you can make your breath even deeper for this final breath. And as you exhale, release the interlace. If you have it, walk the shoulder blades away from each other and lower your upper, middle, and then lower back down to the ground. Just feel the support of the ground beneath you for a moment. Take a breath or two. And then second set. So you can repeat exactly what we just did. If full wheel is in your practice and you would like to take a full wheel, then please do so. You're feeling energetic. If you would like something a little bit more restful, as we kind of ease into the more restful few minutes of our class, then maybe pressing the feet down, lifting the hips up, and then sliding that block or a few cushions or a book, if it's comfortable, underneath your sacrum, on whichever setting feels good for you. And then just resting about 50% of your weight into that support. And then releasing, palms open. So if you're taking this restorative, semi-restorative, I guess, option, you're allowing the support beneath you to take about half of your weight, but you're still a little bit active. So you're still pressing the feet down a little. One more deep inhale in your second set. Breathe into your heart space. And then as you exhale, slowly, again retracing your steps. If you have the block underneath, you carefully remove it. And then lowering upper, middle, lower back down to the ground. And then from here, bring the arms into a T shape or cactus arms. Press into the feet, lift your hips up, and then just shuffle them over to the right by a couple of inches. And then drop them back down. Bring the knees in towards your chest, squeeze the knees in close, and then allow the knees to flop over to your left. Bring into a nice supine twist. Maybe send the face towards the right. And if you feel like your right knee is kind of moving away from your left knee, you might bring a block or a cushion in between the knees. Should allow you to be able to relax your legs a little bit more. It's just coming into more softer postures now as we wind down. One more deep breath here. And then as you inhale, bring your knees back to center. Exhale, place the feet down, and then press the feet down. Lift the hips up, scooch them a couple of inches over to the left, and then another couple of inches over to the left. So your hips are slightly left of the line of your shoulders. And then squeeze the knees in towards you. And then let the knees drop out over to your right side. Again, keep the knees nice and high if you want more of an intense twist. And again, if the left knee likes to escape away from the right, just bring a block or a cushion or something in between the knees. Maybe send the gaze towards your left, or just turn your face in that direction and soften the eyes closed. Couple more deep breaths. Let the ground take all of your weight as you exhale. And then inhale, bringing the knees back to center. Look the knees in towards you, and then take hold behind your thighs. So we're going to rock up and down the spine with the breath. If rocking up and down the length of the spine feels uncomfortable for you, you can just rock from side to side. Otherwise, inhale, rocking up. Exhale, rocking back. Inhale, rocking up. Exhale, rocking back. Just bring some energy into the spine. Inhale, rocking up, and then staying in seated. If you're rocking side to side, you can just roll over onto one side and carefully make your way up to sit. And then from here, finding staff pose, Tadasana. So sending the heels away from you, curling the toes in, lengthening the backs of the legs. Just check in. Make sure you're kind of on the mid or front of your sitting bones. If you're leaning back onto the back of your sitting bones, bring support underneath you, like a little block or a cushion or two. Hands either side of you. Press the hands down. Press sitting bones down. Lift the crown of the head high. And then maintain this nice length. As you inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, send the sitting bones back and down. As you reach forwards and down, coming into Paschimottanasana, forward bend. Maybe take hold of shins, ankles, big toes or sides of feet. And then with 5 or so deep breaths here, you might want to close your eyes and really go inwards, feeling the posture. Inhale, breathing your lower ribs towards your upper ribs, finding a bit more length. So very gently pulling away, you have hold off to guide yourself forwards and down. Chest and belly moving down, crown of head moving forwards. So you've got that nice stable support of the legs, pressing the backs of the legs down, curling the toes in, sending the sitting bones back and down. And from that support, you may be able to just really soften a little bit more into your upper body. Release any tension from your chest, from your belly, from your face. One more deep breath. And then releasing hold as you inhale. Press the backs of the legs down carefully. Wind yourself back up to a tall spine. And then just making sure you've got plenty of space behind you to lie down. Bring the arms out in front of you. And as you exhale, rounding the spine, so really spreading your back body. Lowering the lower, the middle, and then the upper back down to the ground, ready for your Shavasana. Just take a moment to make yourself super comfortable. Get any fidgets out of the way. I recommend the feet being a little wider than hip width apart and just letting the toes flop out. Arms just a little bit away from your body, palms facing up. Make any adjustments you need to. If your lower back feels a bit tweaky here, after all the back bending, you might want to bend the knees and bring cushions or a bolster under your knees. Or you might walk the heels a bit closer in towards you, and then a little bit wider than hip width apart, and then let the knees flop in towards each other, just to alleviate your low back. Take a couple of deep clearing breaths to arrive, if that's helpful. Deep inhales all the way into the belly, the chest and the side ribs. Holding for a moment. And then exhale. Sighing it out, just letting the ground take all of your weight. Letting every part of you relax. I'm just going to read a quote from this brilliant book I've been reading, Secret Teachings of Plants by Stephen Harrod-Booner. There's a lot in here about training yourself to perceive with your heart, using the heart as an organ of perception. For universe is not a place but an event, not a collection of solids but an interaction of frequencies, not a noun but a verb. And though the linear mind can examine parts of universe through even greater magnification, the living fabric of its truth can be experienced only with an open heart. The meanings in universe are available to any who relocate consciousness and begin to perceive with the heart. Bring your attention now back to your physical body. deepen your breath. And just allow this deeper breath to inspire some gentle movement through your body. Be wriggling fingers and toes. Gradually making your movements a bit bigger, maybe circling ankles and wrists. Head from side to side. Any other movements that feel good. Might want to take a stretch, reaching the arms up and over, lengthening your legs. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, draw the knees in towards you. Hook the knees in, rock the knees from side to side. We'll make circles with the knees in one direction and then the other, massaging your lower spine. Eventually rolling over to land on one side, taking a breath or two. And then slowly and carefully guiding yourself up to a comfortable seat. Coming to sit tall and placing padding underneath you if that's helpful. Inhale, pressing the sitting bones down, lifting crown of head. Exhale, relax shoulders away from ears, relax your face. And then bringing one hand onto your heart, so energetic heart, centre of the chest, and then the other hand over the top. And then for a final time in our practice, just dropping seat of your perception down into your heart space. Inhale, breathing more space into this area. More light, exhale, softening. Maybe returning to your intention. Close our practice with a deep clearing breath. As you inhale, reach the arms out and up. And the palms together, and then exhale, let it go completely. Bring the palms together at your heart and bow your head down to the wisdom of your heart.